Welcome to another episode where we unearth the most unexpected facts. Today we delve into the top 10 most outrageous and bizarre laws that still exist in Canada today. Imagine a world where some truly peculiar laws are still in effect. Laws that may make you chuckle or even scratch your head in disbelief. Our northern neighbor, Canada, is home to some such laws. So let's dive into the realm of the outrageous and bizarre. Buckle up as we start our journey through these peculiar Canadian laws. Starting off our list at number 10 is an unusually specific law from the great city of Toronto. This law states that you cannot drag a dead horse down Yonge Street on Sundays. That's right, folks. It seems the lawmakers had a particular problem with this bizarre activity. Back in the day, when horses were a primary mode of transport, this law might have made some sense. But in the 21st century, it's definitely a head-scratcher. It's unclear why this law is still on the books, but it's a safe bet that it's not regularly enforced. However, its continued existence does make for a fun bit of trivia. So if you happen to find yourself in Toronto on a Sunday with a dead horse on your hands, remember to respect the law and find another street. Certainly a law that raises eyebrows, wouldn't you agree? Moving on, at number 9, we have a law that might seem like a prank, but it's as real as it gets. It's actually illegal to whistle in Petrolia, Ontario after 7 in the evening. This law was put in place back in the late 19th century to prevent an excess of noise in the town. The thought was that whistling after dinner hours might disrupt the peace and quiet of the community. Believe it or not, this law is still on the books today. While it's not enforced as strictly as it once was, you could technically still be in hot water for breaking out into a whistle after sundown in Petrolia. It's one of those peculiar laws that seem to have outlived its relevance, yet continues to exist. Another law that leaves us scratching our heads. It makes us wonder what's next on our list of outrageous and bizarre laws in Canada. At number 8, we find an odd law with a musical twist. In the quaint town of Petrolia, Ontario, it's illegal to whistle in public after sundown. This law traces back to the late 19th century, when Petrolia was a bustling oil town. The town council, in an attempt to maintain peace and quiet, enacted this law, and it's still on the books today. While the people of Petrolia don't seem too bothered by this law, it's a fascinating example of how societal norms from the past can shape the rules we live by today. It also serves as a reminder that the world was a very different place back then, with unique challenges and quirks. So the next time you find yourself in Petrolia after the sun sets, you might want to keep your whistling to yourself, unless you're looking for a quick history lesson from the local law enforcement. One can't help but wonder the stories behind these laws. Taking the 7th spot on our list is a law that might make you think twice about your weekend plans. In the picturesque town of Uxbridge, Ontario, it's illegal to have an internet connection faster than 56 kilobits per second. Yes, you heard that right. This law, dating back to the early days of the internet, was originally put in place to prevent residents from hogging the town's limited bandwidth. But what does this mean for the residents? Well, imagine trying to stream your favorite show or video conference with your boss on a connection slower than what most of us used in the late 90s. It's a whole new level of buffering. Despite the advent of modern high-speed internet, this law has managed to stick around, making Uxbridge a place where time, or at least technology, seems to have stood still. A truly unique law, don't you think? Halfway through our list, at number 6, we have a law that will make you think twice about your next painting project. In Beaconsfield, Quebec, it's illegal to have more than 2 colors on your house. Yes, you heard that right, only 2 colors. This law, which dates back to the 17th century, was enacted to ensure a uniform and aesthetically pleasing appearance for all homes. While some may appreciate the simplicity, others find it a little too restrictive. The law still stands today, but enforcement is rare and usually only occurs if a neighbor complains. So, if you're planning on painting your house in Beaconsfield, make sure to keep your color choices to a minimum, or you might be in for a surprise. And remember, while these laws may seem bizarre, they're still a part of the legal fabric that makes Canada unique, just when you think you've heard it all. Coming up next at number 5 is a law that's sure to raise a few eyebrows. In the picturesque province of British Columbia, it's illegal to kill a Sasquatch. Yes, you heard that right. The elusive creature, also known as Bigfoot, is protected by an act that has been in place since the early 20th century. The law was originally introduced to protect wildlife and their habitats, but over time, it has been applied to the mythical beast as well. So, if you're planning a Bigfoot hunt in the Canadian wilderness, think again. This law is still enforced today, and breaking it could land you a hefty fine or even a jail sentence. It seems that in British Columbia, they take the protection of all creatures, real or imagined, very seriously. Well, that's one for the books. In fourth place, we uncover a law that takes us to St. John, New Brunswick. Believe it or not, there exists a law that restricts the time of day you can whistle. Yes, you heard that right. You are not allowed to whistle in this city after dark. The reasoning behind this law is quite interesting. You see, back in the day, whistling after dark was considered a coded language for criminals. A simple whistle could signal a crime in progress or alert others to danger. Today it remains on the books, though it's not commonly enforced. But imagine being fined for whistling your favorite tune on a late-night stroll. As harmless as it seems, this law serves as a reminder of a time when whistling had more sinister implications. So next time you're in St. John, remember to save your whistling for the daylight hours. Another law that baffles the mind. Securing the bronze medal of bizarre laws. At number 3, we have a regulation that may leave you scratching your head. It's illegal to whistle in Petrolia, Ontario. That's right, folks, a law that bans whistling. This law was originally enacted in the late 19th century. The town of Petrolia was booming with oil production, and whistling was used as a form of communication among oil workers. However, the incessant whistling led to a lot of noise pollution. To keep the peace, the town decided to put a stop to all whistling except for emergencies. Fast forward to today and the law still exists. But don't worry, the local law enforcement isn't out there hunting down rogue whistlers. The law is not strictly enforced, but it remains part of the town's bylaws, a quirky reminder of its colorful past. Certainly a law that leaves us wondering. Just missing the top spot, at number 2, we find a law that is as perplexing as it is amusing. In the picturesque city of Uxbridge, Ontario, it's illegal to have an internet connection faster than 56 kilobits per second. Yes, you heard that right. This law dates back to the early days of the internet, when legislators, unfamiliar with the rapid pace of technological evolution, sought to prevent potential misuse of this new tool. Today, in the age of high-speed broadband and fiber optic networks, this law seems a quaint relic of a bygone era. Yet, it remains on the books, a testament to the slow-moving nature of legal reform. While it's unlikely anyone will be prosecuted for breaking this law today, it serves as a fascinating glimpse into the past and a reminder of just how far we've come in such a short time. Almost at the top, and the laws just keep getting stranger. And now the moment we've all been waiting for. The most outrageous law in Canada today is, drum roll please, it's illegal to pretend to practice witchcraft. Yes, you heard right. This law stems from the 19th century, a time when fears of the supernatural were rampant. Back then, people who pretended to be witches or sorcerers could be charged with fraud. Fast forward to today, the law has been slightly tweaked. It's no longer about actual witchcraft, but rather, the false pretense of it. If you're caught faking a seance or pretending to use magic to tell fortunes, you could find yourself in a legal bind. Interestingly, in 2017, the Canadian government proposed to repeal this law as part of an effort to clean up the criminal code. However, as of today, it's still on the books. A well-deserved winner, wouldn't you agree? And there you have it, the top 10 most outrageous and bizarre laws that still exist in Canada today. From it being illegal to whistle in Petrolia, Ontario after 11 p.m. to the prohibition of removing a bandage in public in Canada, these laws certainly make you wonder about their origins. So which one did you find the most outrageous, and why? We'd love to know your thoughts. We look forward to reading your thoughts. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.